If you're in the market for a 996 or a 997 Porsche 911, I am Travis and I have had this 997 for almost 10 years. And so occasionally I'll get emails or I'll get somebody reaching out via my newsletter or Instagram or some form, a DM saying like, hey Travis, I saw your video about your Porsche. Like I'm thinking about getting one. Like I have some questions I want to ask you about your ownership. And I always try and give them the most thorough explanation I can, but I've done it enough times now that I think it would probably be good if I make a video and share it with all of you to answer a lot of these questions. I would say the first part of your buying experience or ownership is anxiety and fear. There's a lot of different reasons you can have those things. You can have the fear of, maybe buying the wrong car, or the anxiety that something's gonna have been broken that you need to get fixed. That's a really big, expensive repair. I mean, the 996s, the 997s, they're known to have a few big issues. Like there's the IMS bearing issues, the bore scoring issues. All those things affected most of the cars throughout the run up until the 997.2. And for a lot of owners, that adds a lot of anxiety. And, maybe that reputation is a little bit earned, maybe it's not. I've heard mixed things with the cars, especially, that you get one person that has a catastrophic failure and they go and tell the internet, and then everybody's like, oh, these cars are bad. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but the reputation is there for these two generations of water-cooled 911. And in my ownership experience, I'm not going to say that I haven't had fear or anxiety. This channel is kind of built around me documenting and sharing my ownership of these cars with all of you, the good and the bad. So I have those fears and anxieties, and maybe I'll do a video about what new Porsche ownership experience is really like the first couple of years as you're learning the car. But these cars, that's just something you're gonna have to deal with, is that fear. But once you get past that fear of the car or that anxiety, they can be very rewarding to own. Okay, let's talk about the engines in these cars. So pretty much the 996 to the 997 generations had two engine families. The IMS equipped cars were the M96 and the M97 engines. And then in 2009, they introduced the 9A1 direct fuel injection engine, which didn't have that IMS issue, didn't have the bore scoring issues that the earlier engines had. Now, enough time has passed that there have been a few aftermarket solutions to the IMS issues that plague these engines. LN Engineering has a good solution to direct feed oil into the IMS, which is a sealed bearing from the factory that was never serviceable by Porsche, and it helped the intermediate shaft turn the cam shafts. So it could fail unexpectedly at any time. And obviously, these engines are not cheap in these cars if you need to replace them. So you're looking at, especially if you're buying a used 996, you're looking at the cost of the car to replace it. So it's not quite that stark now, but that's how it was for a while. Anyways, there's a solution now for those things. So you can get that done, and you can even get it done on the earliest 997.1s, the 2005 model year. LN Engineering has on their site, there are engine numbers for the 3.6 and the 3.8 that have the older style IMS in it that's accessible and can be taken care of with their solutions. So if you're interested in buying a 997, but you are a little bit put off by the potential for that kind of a failure, then there is an option for you if you are going to do your homework. Now, the 06 to 08 don't have that available for them, but the thing about those ones, they don't fail at as high of a rate as the earlier cars. So there is that. Now, everything prior to the 997.2, which started in 2009 and went to 2012, all those cars are susceptible to bore scoring as well. It's just the way the engines are designed, and they it has to do with I think the cylinder wall lining. But anyways, those are like the big gotchas that are really expensive on these generations of Porsches. But with a little bit of patience and a little bit of research, you can work around it pretty well. What has 9+ years of ownership in this car been like for me? I like to joke with people and say that this thing has been my Toyota because, for the most part, it has been such a boring experience in terms of maintenance issues. It has been great. The only unexpected maintenance thing I've had happen was a windshield or washer fluid reservoir that cracked and leaked washer fluid all over my garage floor. Other than that, it has just been routine maintenance. I've spent just under $17,000 over that 9.5 years on maintenance and repairs. Now, I'll say 5,000 of that, or just under 5,000 of that, was deferred maintenance right after I got the car, just getting it all dialed in so I didn't have any problems with it. And since then, it's been great. I've done some of those things myself. Like, one of the first things I did with this car, when I got it, I did new rotors and pads and painted the brake calipers red. And I've done a lot of other DIY stuff, but then there has been a mix of dealerships and independent specialists that have taken care of this car over the years for me. It's been a really great experience. Up until I had the Maserati, this thing was my primary car and I drove it year round. It still sees action 12 months a year. It's a year rounder. I run summer tires on it, but where I live in Western Washington, the United States, it never really gets close to freezing. And if it does, I just leave it in the garage and I don't take it out. But, it sees rain. And one of the things that's the key feature on a Porsche 911 is the rear window wiper. And so this car has one. It makes it way better to drive in the bad weather. And I just love taking this thing out in the rain. It's so comfortable and warm, and it feels great, and you can still get out there and have a good time even if the weather's bad. This is the actual buying advice I would give to a friend if they were on their way to go start their search after having told them everything else about my ownership experience. Number one, buy the best car that you can in your budget. Doesn't matter if it's a 996 or a 997.2. Buy the best one you can because you'll be happier with your purchase after the fact. Now, today, I wouldn't be scared of getting a 996. When I was buying this car, I just didn't understand living with these cars, what it would really be like. It's kind of like my first purchase like this. But today, I would not shy away from 996s. I think they're great cars. I think the 996 with the C4S, the wide back end, is the best rear end on a 911 ever. And I wouldn't shy away from them. Now, if it were me buying one, I would test drive it, make the purchase, and then have a tow truck take it to immediately have the IMS solution installed on it, because that's kind of risk management that I personally would take. I couldn't be comfortable driving it not having had that done. That's just me. I know it doesn't fail that often. I just am a little bit more risk averse as it goes with these sorts of cars and engines. Now, 997.1, I would also search out the ones that are the early 2005s that you can have the IMS solution installed on it, because it's one less thing to be concerned about and worry about. LN Engineering has had pretty good success with their solution. There's a couple other kits on the market. That's just what I would do. Now, that's not to say the 06 through 08 997.1s aren't great cars. They have a better like IMS bearing in them, and they don't fail as often, but that risk still would probably be in the back of my mind if I were buying it. All those cars, 996 and 997.1, I would say make sure that in your PPI you have a bore scope done. You don't want to get one and not have it done, and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks goes by and you're noticing issues, and they're like, yeah, your engine is like toast. You should have just had the mechanic take a look at that. Now, all those things, having said that, I chose the 997.2 back in the day because I was going to have it as my daily driver. I needed it to not be in the shop having all these different things done to it when I bought it. So I searched for one that I knew I could just get in and drive, and it has been a great car, but I know that they are very expensive in the market today, and they don't have the same value as the 996s or the earlier 997s. So it really just comes down to what your budget is and what your risk tolerance is. But I would lay it all out in the line like that, and you can make your own personal choice. That's it. That's my ownership with this car. I think it's really important that if you want something like this, you really have to ask the questions, whether it's through forums or, random guys with YouTube videos on the internet. You're lucky if you can find a friend or a family member who has one to ask them what their ownership experience is like. I wish that I would have had someone that had a 997.2 that I could have kind of, bounced my thoughts off of them, but, you don't always get that. And I'm just really glad I ended up with this one. It's been such a great car. It's definitely earned its spot in my garage.